Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
It's an opportunity for a lot of bands to get feedback from some high-quality people.
Every year, Homestead High School hosts the Fall Festival of Bands, which brings in marching bands from all over the state. We'll tell you how the 2021 version went after a year off due to the pandemic.
Plus, it's not just Spartan Alliance having performances this time of year. The Homestead Jazz Band is gearing up for their first concert this year. Those stories and more straight ahead. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Anthony Gary.
And I'm Cora Shaw. And Anthony, we are 1 week closer to our fall break.
I know, I cannot wait.
Last year, the Spartan Alliance Band had to cancel their annual Fall Festival of Bands at Homestead. But this year, it is back, and reporter Nada DeHook went out last week to see how the full day of musical performances went.
Last year, due to COVID, Homestead had to cancel many of their plans, especially with performing arts. But this year, they were able to host more events for students around the state, including the Fall Festival of Bands.
The Fall Festival of the Bands is our annual competition that we have every single year, where we invite bands from around the region, and really we send invitations around the state to as many band directors to allow them to come onto our campus and receive feedback from some pretty nationally renowned judges that we have.
And since this event was canceled last fall, the students are excited to finally host it this year.
This is my first time at Fall Fest, and it's kind of an interesting experience because this is only my third time competing, and it's really interesting to be on our own soil for a competition instead of going 2.5 hours away.
Just getting to perform again without a whole lot of pressure, being able to get out before the real season starts and have a little bit more fun.
I'm most excited to see Carol and Penn perform because we saw them last week, and I'm ready to see them again. I'm also excited for the judges that are judging us because they're going to be the same judges at BOA Grand Nats, so that's going to be a good opinion base for us to have.
And this isn't the only performing arts event going on this semester. ISMA and the Fall Play are also coming up. Make sure to stay updated with Homestead News to know more information about these events. For HHS In Depth, I'm Nada DeHook.
Thank you, Nada. Another music playing group of students at Homestead are busy rehearsing each day for their competition season later this year. HHS In Depth reporter Yuji Che is in now to take a look at Homestead's jazz band.
Last year, students in jazz band were faced with strict limitations to the concerts and competitions they could attend due to COVID-19. Homestead's Jazz 1 director, Mr. Witsuguter, gives us an overview of what the jazz band is all about this year with less limitations.
Last year we had to deal with COVID. That was a big, interesting inconvenience for everybody, but we definitely made it through. And the thing that's different about this year is we're able to have more live performance opportunities. I think is going to make a big difference for the students and the community and being able to see live music again. We try to play a variety of music and a variety of different time periods and try to give the audience more of an experience as opposed to just a concert.
Students join jazz band for many different reasons and have different expectations for this year.
During the competitive season, I actually don't focus on the results. I really like the experience of playing in front of people.
I joined jazz band because I like playing saxophone and I like playing jazz, and it's really fun.
Along with the expectations for this year, Mr. Witsuguter shares what he expects from the students and the audience.
I think that they're going to be excited about the number of performance opportunities that we have this year. We were accepted to perform at the Indiana Music Educators Association State Convention. That's going to be a new experience for them to be able to perform at that high level and to be able to perform for other music teachers out there, and doing a couple new jazz festivals this year as well.
With high hopes for this year's jazz band, make sure to go support them at their first concert coming up in 3 weeks. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Yoonji Che.
We're already 1 week into October and the warm temperatures are still sticking around. If you're going to the game tonight against Wayne, make sure to bring a jacket as temperatures will cool off late in the game. I'll be back later to let you know how the weather is looking for tonight's game and the rest of this weekend.
October is National Bullying Prevention Month. Did you know that 1 out of every 5 students reports being bullied at school?
2 out of every 5 students will be cyberbullied before they graduate high school. 3 out of every 5 students who identify as LGBTQ report being bullied. And 1 out of every 3 students with a disability reports being bullied. Students who experience bullying are at an increased risk for depression, anxiety, sleep difficulties, lower academic achievement, and dropping out of school. If you or someone you know is getting bullied, reach out to a parent, teacher, counselor, or trusted adult. If someone is cyberbullying you, don't respond. Block them and report the cyberbullying to the social media site and a trusted adult. Although national rates of bullying have decreased, there is still work to be done to make sure everyone feels safe at Homestead. Homestead High School's goal is to build a stronger sense of belonging, community, and acceptance of all students, regardless of their differences. If you see something, say something. Let's put an end to bullying at Homestead.
You're watching HHS In Depth with Anthony Gary and Cora Shaw.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth. We are now joined by reporter Carly Flanagan. And Carly, we had a very eventful week as our dance marathon raised money for Riley Hospital.
That's right, Cora. And just yesterday, Homestead's High School Dance Marathon Club put on a Donut Day fundraiser to support Riley Children's Hospital during Children's Miracle Network Hospital's Children Health Week.
The group sold the popular cinnamon caramel donuts from Rise and Roll to support Riley's palliative care unit, which serves terminally ill children. The Donut Day fundraiser raised $792. They would like to thank everyone who bought a donut to support their fundraising efforts for a great cause.
The Dance Marathon Club is committed to create fundraisers to raise as much money as they can for Riley Children's Hospital. If you're interested in joining, you can contact Mrs. Brayman or Mrs. Klinker for more information. Make sure to follow them on Instagram at HHSFTK. If you would like to donate to Homestead's Dance Marathon, you can go to the Dance Marathon website and search Homestead High School to donate. And Cora, last year, the HHS In Depth team raised over $500 for the kids at Riley's Hospital.
I will never forget Dr. Gander guest anchoring. It was definitely a day to remember. Thank you, Carly. Sophomores and juniors will be taking the PSAT on Wednesday, October 13th in your advisory. Check your email or the Homestead guidance page for a video with specific information, as well as a link to the student guide. Make sure to look on PowerSchool for your advisory location so you know where to go on test day.
Poetry Out Loud is a national poetry reciting competition offered each year through the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation. The call-out meeting for this year's Poetry Out Loud competition will be Tuesday, October 12th, right after school in room 117, Mr. Beer's room.
And now here is a look at the clubs taking place at Homestead over the next week. Euchre Club meets today after school in room 212. New players and experienced players are all welcome. Get out to the Film Club meetings today after school in room 113 for snacks and spooky movies. They will be voting on the first movie of the year. Also, please bring your $5 dues. Are you interested in current events? Do you enjoy discussing politics? Go to Young Progressives today after school in room 614, Mrs. Smith's room. All political viewpoints are welcome and snacks will be provided. Chess Club meets every Monday after school in room 608, Senora Hoon's room. Go for the snacks and stay for the fun. For the next 2 weeks, they'll be practicing for their tournament with Bishop Lures on October 25th.
More clubs meeting over the next week. Get out to Audio Aficionados on Monday after school as they'll be listening to the Icelandic artist Björk. They meet in room 600B, the radio and TV room. Dare to be a force of nature and go out to the Environmental Club's next meeting on Monday in Mrs. Merkling's room, room 206. Take a friend and don't miss out on their meeting. The next Latin Club meeting is on Tuesday, October 12th at 2:45 in Mrs. Beckman's room, room 604B. Interact Club meets every Wednesday at 2:45 in the community room. Please contact Mrs. Dean with any questions. And finally, are you planning on joining the Biomedical Science Club this year? Turn in your membership form along with your dues to Mrs. Barron's in room 215 by October 13th. However, the October 13th meeting has been canceled due to it being PSAT Day at Homestead.
All those interested in trying out for the winter season cheerleading team, please come to the parent-athlete call-out meeting on October 12th at 7 p.m. in the freshman seminar room. Tryout clinic days will be October 18th and October 19th from 3 to 5 p.m. with tryouts on Thursday, October 20th, starting at 3:30 p.m. All clinics and tryouts will be taking place in the Freshman Academy gym. If you have any questions, please email Coach Sunderland.
A nationwide trend that took place at the start of the school year encourages students to vandalize schools, including ours here at Homestead. With a look into the recent string of vandalism to hit our school, here's HHS in-depth reporter Logan Barnhart.
The devious looks trends are widely known for the many problems that it has caused for many areas. For Homestead, it not only has caused inconvenience for the students, but for the teachers as well.
It's probably been a few weeks ago that we realized that we had district-wide some issues with students that had been watching TikTok and had been influenced by the devious licks trend.
Because of the devious licks, the staff had to resort to closing bathrooms, making trips inconvenient for the students.
So the primary actions were to make sure that we brought an end to the activities. And in terms of what happens when a situation like this arises, I would encourage students who are curious about consequences for those kinds of things to look through the student handbook. It's a great place for knowledge just about all kinds of things, not just discipline and the consequences for not obeying the rules and such. There's great information in there, everything from final exam schedules to how to start a club. But that's a great place to go to, and it's a very underused resource. If you just click on the Students button on our webpage and then click on Handbook, if you look through the table of contents there, you'll be surprised at how much great information is there in that handbook.
TikTok trends like these can cause many actions to be taken because of the severe nature of these trends.
They definitely have an impact. So when something like this happens, the school has to react to make sure that the school stays a safe place and a good place for learning and such. So in Homestead's case specifically, we had to do things like close some bathrooms for cleaning, or sometimes because they couldn't be supervised. And as all the students know, Homestead's faculty and administrators and maintenance crews are always out and about in the hallways. So it maybe we were more intentional or an increased presence, but we had to focus on that as well.
Finally, Mrs. Summers wanted to reiterate that Homestead is viewed highly and has such a high reputation. When students imitate trends like these, it not only damages Homestead's image, but also the image people have on its students. People see Homestead students as future leaders, and these trends not only affect Homestead, but how people view Homestead students. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Logan Barnhart.
Turning to weather now, the Spartans are at home tonight to take on Wayne, so what can those of us going out to the game expect weather-wise?
Bryce Garrett joins us now to tell us that answer.
Thanks, Cora and Anthony. The weather for tonight's football game against Wayne will be slightly warmer than last week at kickoff. You can expect partly cloudy skies and a kickoff temperature of 68 degrees, falling to 64 degrees by the end of the game. Turning to the weekend now, we can expect a high of 79 degrees on Saturday and up to 82 degrees on Sunday. Saturday and Sunday have low chances of rain, but you can expect many clouds in the skies, and you can't complain about this unexpected warm-up in early October. Will this weather continue? I'll be back with a look at next week's daily forecast to give you that answer.
All right, thank you, Bryce.
Next in sports, we'll take a look back at this past week from our fall sports teams. Joel McChesney is in next to break down the week in the Locker Report. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Locker Report. I'm Joel McChesney. Last Friday night, the football team lost in a nail-biter to Carroll. Sports reporter Caleb Wood brings you a recap of the game.
Rivalry week in the SAC that brings the Homestead Spartans to the new Carroll Stadium. The Chargers would get on the board early. Carroll's Jamison Coverstone with the reception. The Chargers would go up 14-0 in the second quarter. The Spartans would put up 3 in the second. Cameron Jarrett is good from 21 yards. Halftime, Carroll leads 14-3. The Spartans would come back with a 9-yard pass from Slavin to Grady Swing for the touchdown. But their final drive would fall short, and the Chargers would break the 7-game winning streak of Homestead over Carroll. The final score 17-10.
This week on Postseason Spotlight, reporter Anthony Gary will preview the girls' soccer team as they head into their postseason.
The girls' soccer team is a proven squad as they sit at an undefeated 16-0, but this success couldn't simply happen overnight.
Our goals this year are to go to state and win. It's definitely not going to be an easy route, but we're just going to go one game at a time and focus on sectionals and then hopefully regionals and then state.
I think our success is coming from our group of 8 seniors. They're all starters, and just their leadership have carried us through a great season so far, and we just hope to keep it going in the tournament.
In 2018, this group of seniors' freshman year, the soccer team fell short, losing 2-1 versus Carmel at state. After coming so close to winning the state title, the team has one common goal on their mind.
Our expectations is to win state. You know, we made it there 3 years ago and lost 2-1 in the finals in overtime to Carmel, and our goal is to return and win it this time.
I think we were so successful this year just because of our good team chemistry and our work ethic. Pretty much everyone on our team puts in their 100% all the time, so we just have a really good team all the way through.
Assuming the girls' soccer team wins sectionals and makes it to regionals, they would play the only other undefeated team in the state, number 1 Noblesville. That likely matchup will be held here at Homestead High School, and you won't want to miss it. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Anthony Gary.
The teams for next week's postseason spotlight are the boys and girls cross-country teams. And now looking into your weekly results. The cross-country team had another successful week at a cold and rainy Nike Twilight meet. The girls finished 5th as a team, led by sophomore Addison Canablo in 2nd place. Lauren Saddington finished in 32nd and Alexis Goebel in 34th. On the boys' side, the team finished 14th, led by senior Ethan Bates in 7th. Both teams will run in the sectional meet at Northrop tomorrow. The volleyball team defeated Woodland 3-0 on Tuesday. On the stats sheet, Haley Biedenbach had 5 aces, Natalie Blaufus had 13 assists, Hannah Brown had 3 blocks, Olivia Cron had 17 digs, and Hannah Brown had 7 kills. The boys tennis team lost 4-1 against Carroll on Wednesday. They finished ranked 17th in the state. Stephen Meyer will compete individually in the postseason. Best of luck to him. Boys soccer lost 2-1 against Huntington North on Wednesday. They finished their season 8-9-1. The girls soccer team beat Southside 10-1 on Tuesday. Goals were scored by Sophia Citrone, Emily Graham, Elena Connect, Madison Morris, Sydney Couch, Sarah Pori, Amelia White, Rachel Parrish, Lucy Parrish, and 2 goals were scored by Audrey Seitz. Sarah Pori had 2 assists, and Emily Graham and Lucy Parrish both had 1. Best of luck to the girls in the postseason. Congratulations to the girls golf team on the state runner-up title. Maddie DeBeja finished 4th individually, and Simone Sink finished 5th. Also, congratulations to Maddie DeBeja for becoming the 3rd player to finish top 5 all 4 years of her career. The last time that occurred was 1999. Tonight, the football team takes on Wayne in a must-win matchup for the Spartans. It's your 4-3 Homestead Spartans matched up against the 2-5 Wayne Generals. Tonight's theme is Pink Out, so make sure to go out and support the Spartans. For the Locker Report, I'm Joel McChesney. Make sure you follow the Locker Report on Instagram and Twitter. Have a great weekend, Homestead. Bryce will have a final check of the weather when we come back.
Next week on HHS In Depth, reporter Joel McChesney brings you a story over music boosters that help raise money for performing arts and how they have recovered from COVID last year. All of that and more next week on HHS In Depth.
The weather for this weekend will be the start of a very warm week. What you can look forward to is the lack of rain in the forecast after this weekend. You should expect low 80s daytime temperatures with no rain at all, and throughout next week, our high temperatures will approach the upper 70s and partly cloudy skies each day, even getting back up into the 80s on Wednesday. We'll have a comfortable overnight lows dropping into the low 60s almost each night. The end of the next week should bring lower temperatures in the mid 70s. 1 week away from our 4-day fall break weekend, and no one can complain about the weather this time of year. Cora, Anthony, back to you.
All right, thank you, Bryce, and thank you for watching today.
Good luck to the football team as they are back at home after 2 weeks away to take on Wayne. Have a great weekend, Homestead, and we will see you back here again next Thursday.